Welcome back to FTLG Marathon's online Extravaganza 3. My name is Atitri, and I am here with Shovelclaws for its run of Neon White, White's Heaven Rush, with some very special guests. Shovelclaws, if you'd like to introduce them, that would be great.
Of course. Hello everyone, my name is shovelclaws. Before we start anything, I'm going to introduce myself really quickly. I use its pronouns, and I mostly run Sonic games, but this is not a Sonic game, this is Neon White. We can get into the game itself after I introduce our special guest. Our special guests. I have a commentator joining me. His name is Fallen Free. He's a community member and a runner of this game.
Hello. Exactly what it said. G.
Perfect. And also joining me, very, very special guest, I'm very excited for this, is one of the voice actors for the game. Courtney, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name's Courtney Lynn. I am the voice of Neon Violet, and I'm so excited to be here.
All right.
Best character in the game.
Yeah, the only reason Fallen is commentating this is because he's a simp for Violet. Anyways. Anyways, before, one last housekeeping. My friend asked me to have you say a voice line in Violet's voice so he could mod it into his game. So I'm gonna do it. Can you please say, "Wait a sussy second"?
Wait a sussy second!
Perfect. Thank you so much. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, I'm going to talk about the game a little bit. This is Neon White. Neon White is a first-person action platformer and shooter where you play as Neon White, the titular main character. He is an assassin from hell brought into heaven for a competition, the 10 Days of Judgment. These 10 days are 10 days where 99 neons, also people from hell brought into heaven, compete for rank number 1. How do you get this rank? Well, it's very simple. In each stage, there are a number of demons, and it's your job to kill these demons. They invade heaven on these 10 days, and they're bad demons, not like us. As someone said in chat, we're called neons. Shout out. And if you kill them as fast as possible and unlock the goal, once you get to that goal, you'll be awarded a medal. This medal depends on your time. And the more medals you have, the higher neon rank you will have. This neon rank, number 1, gets to stay in heaven forever, or at least until the next year, because it's an annual thing. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and start our run. So once I press start rush, we'll just go ahead, get straight into it. Chapter 1 is very fast paced, but for the most part, we're just explaining mechanics. Anyways, so in 3, 2, 1, time, go. Not time. That would be the shortest speedrun of all time. Anyways.
You
Immediately
completed the run in 0.001 seconds.
Let's go! Anyways, in this first stage movement, we jump immediately into the water. Water you may think slows us down, but it actually increases our speed significantly. The first 10 stages of this game have this grand glass ocean. I thought I missed that jump. We'll be using this glass ocean to our advantage because it speeds us up. Next, we should talk about soul cards. Soul cards are very simple. There are weapons of the game. These weapons have 2 functions. One, of course, shooty bang bang. You can't have a gun without it shooting. And we also have a discard function. This discard function is a special ability granted to us by the gift of God or whatever. These movement abilities range quite heavily, and so we'll just introduce the first 2 you've seen so far. We have the yellow pistol, Elevate. Elevate is very simple. It is an extra jump on discard. I did not mean to kill that guy. You're supposed to jump on that guy, but I accidentally shot again. It's fine. Very simple backup strat. Grab that third elevate and just jump straight to the end. Bruh. Okay. Next we have... Third time. Next up is Purify. Purify is a purple light machine gun, and that light machine gun discard ability is a bomb. Here, on Bounce, we abuse a little bit of collision that sticks out of that wall down there to climb up the tower faster. And here on Purify, you're going to notice something very minor. Whenever I shoot a Purify bomb, I'm going to swipe my katana. I need that Purify, thank you.
What?
Whenever I swipe my katana, this is for a mechanic called bullet boosting. Bullet boosting is very simple. If you damage any bullet, including your own and enemy bullets, you get a very, very small speed boost temporarily. This speed boost saves 0.10 seconds, but of course it adds up over the run, and so we want to get as many of these as possible. Another way to get bullet boosts is by reflecting bullets that enemies shoot with your katana. The katana is a very simple melee swipe. You have 30 of them before you run out. And so we will be using this to kill demons as well, because when you reflect a bullet, it will mostly travel back to the demon and instantly kill them, or deal a ton of damage depending on the demon, but we won't see that too much in this run. Here in Glassport, we don't have anything too bad to talk about. We'll simply shoot up a few Purify Bombs. No, we won't, because I messed up. It's fine. This game is very hard. But we don't have anything too much to talk about here, so I'm going to point out the Knuckles the Echidna in the background. I'm a very big Sonic fan, and we allow visual mods to change the portrait of White that is normally there. Make that jump. Oh, dude. Okay. That's very unfortunate. So one very small mistake can very quickly end your level's run. And unfortunately, we didn't make that jump somehow. I'm not super sure how, but it's fine. I guess we can also touch on the fact that jumping up sloped water streams is faster than just walking up them for whatever reason. Water is very complicated, and we won't really get into it this run. Anyways, that's my very fast talking out of the way.
As an amateur chemist, I have heard that water is very complicated.
That is also true.
I've heard you don't have a lot of experience like playing the game, so give me your first impressions based on the first few levels of shovelclaws run here.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think so far?
I'm like, I'm just like trying to keep up. Like,
Yes.
I feel like if I was playing this game, I would not know like where to go, because it's so. It seems like the map is pretty large.
Yeah, each stage has an intentional shortcut, and so it's all kind of a puzzle game, and so speedrunners, it's our job to all figure it out and then put it all together in a single run.
Got it. And so you've done these levels many times.
Oh yeah, a ton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, 'cause you
Hundreds
just know
upon
exactly
thousands.
where to go. I'd be like, man, where is everything?
Yes.
The amount of like time people will put into finding like, oh, I can save exactly one card by doing 500 pixel perfect maneuvers, so I can save fraction of
Wow.
a second. The amount of times that's happened is like, my god. Especially for a game that's like this new.
Yeah, Neon White came out 3 months ago to the almost to the day. We have 3 days or 5 days. I forget what date it is. Also, we should touch on
June
the
29, I think.
yeah. There's a lot going on.
We didn't
here that we haven't
introduce
talked about.
the. Yeah. Okay.
First
so
and
let's
foremost,
see here.
Godspeed is our newest soul card. This soul card is a semi-auto rifle, and this rifle is a dash on discard. It only goes horizontally, so we can't go up or down, but we can go very, very far.
This dash also happens to instantly kill any enemies it comes into contact with.
Yep.
So it's two different kinds of weapons and also a movement mechanic.
It's a kind of weapon and then a movement mechanic. It's not both. I missed that jump.
Oh.
Sad.
Oh, so does the shotgun discharge on the dash? Or
What do you mean?
well, you said it's a shotgun, but then you talked about how it's also a dash that
I
damages
said
anything you dash through.
semi-auto rifle.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a rifle. But it also is a very fast dash. In this dash, we chain back and forth all the time to just instantly kill enemies. It's very fun. There is a shotgun in this game, but it doesn't come until a few chapters later. Anyways, Chapter 2, for the most part, is kind of a lot of downtime, but this is Chapter 3 now, where we are introduced to our next enemy type. We should talk about enemies a little bit. Basically, some enemies, the colored enemies, will drop whatever card they're colored after. So, for example, those big blue guys will drop Godspeed. And some enemies don't do that much. They're just enemy fodder, because we have to kill all the enemies in order to get through the stage. And we've been introduced to Guardians. Guardians are big head demons, and they have instant fire, instant kill lasers that they shoot out of their head. It's very cool.
Yes.
Speaking of
Anyway,
very cool, we also have a $100 donation from Lieutenant Chaos who says, "Thank you, Fallen, for introducing this game to me. You are so cool and based. Thank you for lifting my car out of that ditch with your bare hands. It really saved my life."
You have bare hands?
yeah, it's wild. Anyway, we're introduced here to a brand new card. It is the Stomp. It is a fully automatic SMG. It has a very wild spread, and its movement ability is, you guessed it, it stomps, the fastest way to move vertically downward in the game. And one thing about Stomp that's quite interesting is, even though the spread is wild, it isn't unpredictable. If you tap fire with the spread, the spray will always start around the bottom left corner of your crosshair, which makes it a lot more consistent to try and do a lot of sniping with this weapon.
Yeah. Here we just dive through the floor to very quickly get to the goal. And this is Canals. Canals is the first very large stage. This is a big puzzle for people when they first play the stage, or first play the game rather. It's also very hard to do fast, so hopefully we hit all our shots.
Yes, there's a lot of cross-map barrel sniping and preserving cards.
That was actually like, that might be faster than my IL PB.
Yeah, that was a pretty fast.
That was very good. Anyways, here in Sprint, what? I don't know how that guy didn't die.
So Courtney, if I can act as the voice of the audience for just a moment, my understanding here is, what it looks like here is that shovelclaws is just going so fast that it's practically a movement-based game only.
Yes.
But these enemies do have attacks, so in your casual run, I think it's a lot more about, navigating your way through the levels and also through the enemies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's something that you'd be interested in, I think that's kind of the first level of getting used to this game.
Yes. I will say, my first casual playthrough was a lot more about the story, because I've been playing since February of this year. In February, the devs released a demo of this game. That's awkward.
Yes, we did.
And that demo took over my life for a very long time.
Amazing.
What is happening? That was the weirdest super kinetic I've ever played. I'm not sure at all what happened. Anyways, that's what you're supposed to do, is save 2 Godspeeds in order to get through the level. A big theme with this game is saving weapons for later.
You need them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may lose time in... What? Can I... Please? It's actually just faster to... Bro.
Oh!
What is happening? Super Kinetic is actually
Alright.
trolling me really hard.
While you're getting this sorted, Courtney, do you want to talk any about the story and your involvement in it? We were talking about that demo.
Yeah, so, I mean, the story was pretty easy to record for us. I mean, I literally, I recorded out in 2 days. We were able to get through a lot, yeah. And just because of, like, we recorded during the pandemic, so, and it's more common now, too, that I don't actually get to, like, meet the cast, like, during the record. Like, we all record individually, and the team makes sure that they get enough takes so that when they weave our lines together, it sounds like we're actually talking to each other.
Yeah.
And it was really fun for me to try and guess who the other actors were, because I didn't know at first. Everything is very, secretive with games. They don't tell you much. For the sake of confidentiality. But when I found out, I was like, wow, this is so cool.
All right, we've missed a lot in the first 2 stages of this boss chapter. Boss chapter is very simple. They are shorter chapters with a boss fight at the end. This is Neon Green. How did I miss all of those shots? I actually can't kill him quicker than intended than if I missed those. Anyways, this is Neon Green. Neon Green is our arch nemesis in this game, and so it's our job to take him down. This is all very simple in this category. First, he spawns a wave of crystals and enemies, and if we destroy all the crystals, we have a short amount of vulnerability time. We can shoot him in between these moments, and we also have a lot of much longer invulnerability time, where he is stunned for a few seconds, and we get to do a certain amount of damage. Also, notice me swinging my katana, which leads to me having these fists out. that is for death of timer abuse, where if we die, which happens if you run out of fist charges, the game's physics don't actually stop, but the timer does. And so we can save a few seconds by dying and by shooting a purify grenade, dying with our fists, and then green dies and progresses us to the next level. It's very cool.
You heard it here first. Dying is faster.
Yes. In specific stages, a lot of the time it's not really useful, but in boss fights it is, because green always has this little death animation, and it's very slow.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's the shotgun falling, if you want to explain this, because I'm bad at this chapter.
Yes. So the shotgun is, well, it's a big red shotgun, fires a massive spread of pellets in a horizontal pattern, and its movement ability is a little burst. Think of it as Godspeed, except you can use it in any which direction you want, and also it's surprisingly faster on the ground than it is in the air, because you get a little bit of speed boost if you use it slightly angled downwards.
Alright, almost missed
Heads
that
can be
card.
very annoying in this game.
They have a lot of health, and so sometimes you just miss everything.
That and also their hitbox is quite large.
Yeah. This is Boom. Here we're going to dash up into this... Never mind. We're trying to dash up into this little red board on the ground here, and that's because we can destroy it from the bottom, and this saves going around a lot of the stage. Unfortunately, that ringer didn't die when it was supposed to, so we had to slow down for that, but otherwise, pretty good.
So was that one of those intended shortcuts you were describing earlier?
I'm
The
not
fact
sure
they
if
put
that
a
one's
breakable
intended.
pin?
No, I think the intended one's to go above and into the roof, right?
Yeah, there's a
I
little
see.
corner that you can skip by just using the barrel, the second barrel we shot there, to go around it, but a lot of the time the intentional shortcuts can be still cut down a lot. And I think this next stage is a very... the stage after this, I've got the order mixed up, unfortunate, is a very good example of this. We will see it in now. Arcs is very simple. It has a lot of very deep pits that you're supposed to use the stomp card to go into, but we'll just go on the outside because if we stomp, the barrels still break and launch us up.
Wow.
And so...
Oh, and a very important thing about explosions, no matter where you are in proximity to the explosion, you just always get launched upwards no matter what.
Anyways, this is one of the hardest levels in the game, so I'm gonna focus.
Yes. So,
If I may, while it works on the level, one of the things that I appreciate for being able to see the way that tricks like this come together, Courtney, and anyone in chat who may not recognize the game, is those kind of strategies are the culmination of just hundreds of hours of work by dozens, if not hundreds, of really dedicated runners. So people will basically just keep banging at it with a hammer, trying every different strategy they can until something works out.
Yep.
It's
Also,
a lot
I
of
hit
fun
that
to
first
watch.
try, which I'm very proud of, because that stage is very, very difficult. It's way more technical
GG's
than it
on that.
seems. So the game wants you to go inside, outside, but we instead just stay on the inside of the big tower the whole time. Anyways, with that out of the way, we are now in the sixth chapter, Covenant. This introduces us to the Hanging Gardens, formed after the Hanging Gardens of Babylon from religious texts. And here we're
Also
introduced to the
tripwires.
one thing that Violet, one of the things that Violet does, tripwires. These things are big purple bombs, and if you hit them, you instantly die. However, they also deal damage to any enemies they're connected to once you destroy them. And so...
Ooh, Courtney, you should have turned the friendly fire off.
Yeah, true. So
I'm
it
just here
can
to
cause
create
huge
chaos.
chain reactions. Also, yeah, that's Violet's job. Create chaos. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I actually like Violet quite a lot.
So in the audition process, they said she was very. I don't know if you guys watch anime, but they said that she was really similar to Misa from Death Note.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, they're like not a voice match, but like the vibe, and I was like, I got you guys.
I will say you definitely had those guys because I think Violet's voice acting may be some of my favorite. It matches her character really well, and that's what I appreciate about it.
Courtney, if I use the term yandere, does that mean anything to you?
No.
Okay. There are certain Japanese especially in anime and manga, there are character archetypes that have like one word abbreviations for them, or it's shorthand for knowing what kind of character. So I would say something like Misa and a Violet would fall into something like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think definitely. Here we've been introduced to another new enemy type, Shockers. They're some of my favorite enemies because they are little shock boost jump pads. The green arrow is where the devs intend you to go for casual players, so they don't get very confused. And then the black arrows are just extra arrows that you can go wherever. Also, that strat is really hard. You have to aim very precisely with those 2 Purify Bombs, and the fact I hit it first try is very good. So, I'm happy.
Yeah, a lot. Oh, no!
So you're supposed to pick up that fireball,
Oops.
That's happened to me once before, but you know what? You just get to see the level again, and that's fine. Alright,
And that's the nature of marathon runs.
Yes, it is.
You're trying to pull off extremely precise tricks because you want to show off what you've learned, and sometimes they just don't go that way.
Yep.
You know, I imagine it's not that dissimilar from voice acting. You know, is there anything from this or any other jobs you might have taken that you wish you could take another crack at, or you've looked back in hindsight and think, you know, either, oh, I'm particularly pleased with that, or, oh, maybe I wish I could have taken that again?
I don't know. I think it's really hard. Just like artists in general, we're constantly picking at our own work.
Fair.
And I do think, you know, we're usually our own worst critic. But I am really happy with how a lot of this turned out. So because even though I haven't played the game, I have been able to watch a lot of the cutscenes. And like that's where the brunt of our voice acting was.
Sure.
Within those cutscenes.
I'm gonna point out something really fast. The last stage I just did, I hold the individual level world record on it, meaning I have the best time of that level.
Wow!
That strat that I did at the very end, where you fireball into that shocker, is actually way more precise than it seems. A little weird interaction with both the shocker and the fireball. If you fireball into the shocker, both of their momentums will combine, and so you get very, very big boosts of speed.
Nice.
On that stage, if you do it perfectly, you can just go straight into the goal at the end. It's also very difficult. Anyways,
A little less neon white, a little bit more monkey ball.
true.
You're just sending it and hoping for the best. I get that.
I want to explain race real quick as well. So there's a huge line of these tripwires. You hit the first one, and it's supposed to be like this huge chain reaction where you're racing against the clock. Speedrunners, we can cut off the chain early because, of course, we can destroy the tripwires. And so it's faster to shoot one of them towards the end, so they break at double speed, essentially. And also here, we've started Chapter 7, where we're introduced to the bubbles. Bubbles are basically one-way shields. You cannot shoot into them, but you can shoot out of them. You also need to walk into them no matter what, because they are counted as demons, and the only way to kill them is to go inside of them. So they force you to do routes that may be less optimal, and a lot of the time, if they weren't there, this is bad. That's fine. If they weren't there, a lot of the time the stages would be much faster. But I love these things. I think they're super creative, and they're a really unique way to force the person playing the level to kind of adhere to your level design. I love them. A lot of people don't like them. I understand it because speedrunners want to cut corners and go fast, right? But you know, I like them.
And they're also a great way to just put cards in the middle of midair for no reason.
Yeah, you know, it's very clever. It's something that a lot of game designers do, is figure out different ways to kind of gently suggest a recommended path through the level. Like, even in something like a Mario Kart, you know, technically you can get out of bounds, but there are things looking for where you should be even when you're out of bounds. So, like, if you go too far out of bounds, you won't get to the next lap on the course. But if you get out of bounds in just a certain way, it technically still counts. Things of that nature. I'm sorry, you were saying.
Yeah. You're fine. the stage right before that last one, I'm going to pause for a second here, is very tricky because you can avoid the 2 barrels that I shot and then shoot them as you turn around because you need to shoot them, otherwise the chain reaction with all the tripwires at the bottom won't finish. Also, we've been introduced to mimics now. Mimics are fake little chests, and they are those blue bullets you see are instant kill. Like that! How handy.
Okay. So this game is Dark Souls now.
Oh yeah, basically.
Evil chests
Dark
that kill
Souls
you
of
in one
movement
hit.
shooters.
Oh no.
And so we will be using them to create, again, massive chain reactions. Are you seeing a theme in the Hanging Gardens yet?
Yes.
Yeah, they're awesome though. The one weird thing about them, so with other enemies, most other enemies, you can actually shoot out their bullets and get a bullet boost off of them. The only way to get to interact with the bullets of mimics at all is to either die or melee them. Also, that level greenhouse, we play it by going around the greenhouse. We don't go inside the greenhouse.
I saw that. It seems like we're getting to the point where in a lot of these levels, everything either goes perfectly or it kind of doesn't go at all.
That's kind of how the game
Yeah.
just is, honestly.
Fair.
One small mistake, your run's dead, right? So that's why a lot of people in this game are ILers, individual level players who just grind the same level over and over again. And I mean, in a way, we all are because we have to practice the stages. But yeah, I shout out to those guys because that stuff is very hard. Shaving very like literal frames off of the same level is really tricky. I missed one?
What?
Would you say your run has come together like principally from your own work and strategies, or do you watch IL runners to pick things up?
Absolutely not the former.
Okay.
The Neon White community is pretty tight-knit. We're all very chill, in my opinion. And bro, what is happening?
What?
Okay, I got
Speaking of-
one and then immediately died.
If I could fill a little extra time,
Yes.
speaking of, you just gave me a perfect opportunity talking about the closeness of the community. You've been schmooving so fast, we haven't had time to read $20 donation from Tamari, who says,
Hi,
this
Tamari.
gaming community introduced me to speedrunning and created so many good memories over the past couple months. Heart go shovelclaws. $20 from Maybe Kali, who says, I'm falling free, my beloved. And $20 from Omega Trigun, who said, sick apartment run.
Thank
Which was,
you.
what, like a world or two ago at this point?
I think 3 now. Anyways, Fuse went horribly, but that's okay because now we're in Heaven's Edge. Heaven's Edge is this very purple, very industrial-looking area. What? And we've been
well-
introduced to Dominion. This is the rocket of the game. We can rocket jump. Shout out to TF2 and Fallen. Shout out to Quake, I guess.
Yay. Also, I noticed someone in chat saying, "Woo, best card." I would disagree with you. I like Dominion, but man, it can be frustrating to use
Very.
at times.
But yeah, and the other ability of Dominion is a grappling hook. It's a little zip line. So if we discard, we will zoom over to this wall. And a big theme in this chapter is completely avoiding almost everything by just stacking up Dominion ammo. Whenever you collect a card and have another card of that type, the ammo will actually stack. So we can build up 1 billion rockets and just skip massive parts of levels. It's awesome. I didn't hit that guy. That should be fine. I can.
Courtney,
use
if I
the-
can ask, what's your experience with games generally? I'm curious. So, like, I play a lot of games, so I can kind of understand the visual language of some of this and what's being described here, but I'm curious where you're coming at it from.
Yeah, so, like, the first games I ever played were the Pokemon games.
Shout out.
Nice.
Yeah, gang.
Classic.
And I really love, like, all of the Legend of Zelda games, like, every single one. I've played it. I really like all of the Mario games. Like, I've played, like, Super Mario Odyssey, Smash Bros.
How do you
Kart,
feel about
Party.
Sonic? I have to interrupt.
So I haven't played it as much.
Sad.
That one.
Okay, that's my guilty pleasure.
I see that.
You can tell from the character right on screen.
Yes. Big Sonic fan. Anyways.
Yeah, I played the OG Sonic, like the one that was on like the PC computers, like the very pixelated where you jumping, catching rings.
Yeah.
I did play that when I was younger.
Yeah, and even those games have been, retro communities are their own, I would say, generally very tight-knit communities where they figured out in Sonic games where you can do kind of like what it has done for some of these levels where they basically go around the whole level.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Sonic games where you can actually do that. You can basically push Sonic into a wall and he'll just kind of keep moving along. And as long as you pop yourself out of the wall at the right place, you're at the end of the level.
All right, this is some downtime, so I don't think there's anything we've missed really.
Real quick, I just need to shout out last stage resident Ascent Enjoyer Idol.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get another one next.
True. Yeah, the last stage is very funny. It's one of those stages where we build up a bunch of rockets and then just snipe everything. But we also snipe everything from across the stage and then just go up it. So yeah, it's a very hard strat. It took me a good while to get that. Also, shout out to Firecracker. I really like this stage because you just grapple into the barrels and boom, boom. But we have more downtime. This stage isn't very complicated.
It's almost like a Mirror's Edge, if you've ever seen that game.
Yes.
Very pure movement-based game. Also, shoutouts to Sunny Bro, who donates
Hey.
$100 and says, "Shovelclaws, you got this, bro. Flex the game."
Hey,
Excited to
thank
see
you,
Courtney
Sunny.
Lynn as well. A weird feeling to hear them outside of the game. Have a great day, everyone. I hope you do too, Sunny Bro.
That was the friend that asked me to... Can I? Wait. What?
To record that line.
Yes. Okay, we're
Excellent.
doing Firecracker again, because somehow I got stuck on a piece of geometry. I'm not sure how that happened, but it's fine. Shout out to Sunny. He's, I'm gonna do a thing real quick. I am actually the speedrun.com super moderator for this game. I made the speedrunning Discord server and kind of just lucked into it. And he is on the mod team, so I want to give a quick shout out to my mod team. They're all
Right on.
very cool people. Especially shout out to the other super mod for this game, Idol, whose favorite stage is Streak, this stage.
Ooh.
Every marathon run where Idol is commentating, Idol specifically gets this entire chapter, because I like to break my commentary up by chapters to make it a bit easier. And so every single marathon run I've done, Idol either gets this stage in specific because someone else is doing chapter 8, or she just gets the entire chapter because she really likes this stage. And I think that's really respectable.
Okay, the last like 3 seconds there, I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, we climb up
Yeah.
a very big building by rocket jumping. The same thing's happening in this stage, by the way. 2 shots there. That entire area is the actual stage. We're going to go straight to the goal.
Aha, so we're Spider-Man, but with a rocket launcher.
Yes.
Yes.
I like it.
If anything, we're Spider-Man, but his powers also give him a rocket launcher because it's both. Anyways.
With great rocket launchers comes great responsibility.
True.
Yes.
Now we're in Chapter 9. Chapter 8 is the last stage to really introduce anything, and this chapter is a bunch of combining it into everything. In this stage, Escalation, we're going to save a Elevate card so we can use it at the end. There's a big pit that we want to skip, and so we'll just aim down, shoot a few times, jump.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised the momentum worked from that far away.
Yeah, that's how much height. Hello, thank you. That's how much height Elevate gives you. I got that guy. It's fine. Here on Bolt, we also do something very similar, except more rocket shenanigans. We'll turn around, aim at these 2 guys, rocket jump off this building. Hit all of these guys. I'm gonna grab this stomp card because I used a rocket that I didn't mean to. Shoot these 2, fireball up, bonk. Shoot these 3 at the bottom. Zoom over to the stomp guy. There we go.
Yes.
Shout out to Godstreak. We should talk about vending machines a little bit. Vending machines are used mostly for backup strats, but here on Godstreak, so explosions don't respect the laws of physics. They go through walls without actually like breaking the wall, which is weird, awkward. And so we can shoot a rocket at the start of the stage to get an extra damn it. That happened to me earlier.
An extra god damn it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that's what you intended, but
Yeah, no, it isn't.
while you're getting back out there, if you don't mind, we have a couple more donations.
Sure,
we have
go for it.
$20 from Kay, who says, "This run is so air dog."
Air dog.
And $15 more from Sunny Bro, who says, "Just topping the amount off to 2K." And that brings us, as they said, to $2,000 raised for To Write Love in Her Arms. Actually, now 2006 with a $6 donation from Faustus, who says,
Hey.
"This game has definitely been one of the favorite games I've ever played. Love the speedrunning community. They're one of the most positive communities I've ever been in. Less than 3. Good luck, Shovelclaws."
Thank you. Faustus is one of our newest runners, and they're definitely like making an impact. They're getting good very fast. So I'm excited to see where they end up. That isn't supposed to happen.
Ow.
We get to talk about
Speaking
plunge.
of, we're getting most of the way through the game here.
Yes.
Courtney, are there parts of this where you think, "Oh, I can kind of do that," versus parts of it where it's like, "No, no matter how much I play this, it's not going to happen."
I mean, it's hard to say because shovelclaws is so good.
Fair.
But I think I would get used to how fast it is. But for me, when I play games, because I play a lot of like RPGs where there tend to be side quests, like I usually take my time, so I would have to get used to like, doing the corner cutting, not grabbing every single card,
Yeah,
my
it's not to
little
say you can't in this.
perfection.
You can certainly take a more touristy approach, and that helps you appreciate the art style and stuff, which I must say is absolutely fantastic.
this
I'm
game
really
is
enjoying
gorgeous.
the design. But yeah, they're very different ways of playing the game. Like it said earlier, it's the difference between normal versus intended fast versus the absolute fastest it can be.
Right.
Real quick, shout out to this stage, Barrage. It is the worst stage in the game.
I lost 2 minutes on my PB on this stage.
This game was in the demo of the game. It is the only stage that kept me from getting world record in that category.
Ah.
I think it's a real testament to how good. Like, many players consider this chapter to be like their favorite chapter in the game, and many players also consider that level to be the worst level in the game. So it's a real testament to how good all the rest of the levels in that chapter are, that people
Yes.
can still consider it the best, even with the worst stage.
This game has some of the coolest level design. I love this game so much. This game is actually like my second favorite game. You'll never guess what's ahead of it. Sonic Adventure.
What?
Yeah, crazy. Oh no, indeed. He
oh,
knows.
yeah.
Oh,
Shout out to the run before this, which was a Sonic Adventure run. I caught the end of it, so I'm happy.
Oh, I just realized I forgot to read out all the rest of the
Bro.
letters. Oh no. I'll do that at the end.
Sure.
Speaking of things that I
Sad.
think would make people here happy, we've got comments from K Kira saying, "Oh my gosh, the Violet side quests are some of the best content in the game."
True.
It's Tamari.
Actual
And
facts.
It's
Violet side
Tamari
quests are so
and
cool.
Tajia Streams both say, "Violet, please come run some levels with us." So I think that is a formal indication to come, invitation to come hang out with the community if you'd like.
Excellent.
I can hit you up with the
Honored.
Discord link.
Okay.
I didn't mean to do IL strat. Oh my god, I wasn't thinking. there,
See, there you go.
there's a very hard strat where you instantly fireball and the shocker under you launches you like super far. It's used in the world record for this stage. It's very hard.
Yeah, chat says do it anyway. So
I can't.
take that as you will.
Otherwise,
Oh,
this
and
stage is pretty
that's
simple.
also a wildly inconsistent strategy for
Yes.
me. Like,
Naturally.
yeah.
This game
Yeah, Courtney,
is
I
very
don't know
hard.
how familiar you are with speedrunning generally, but it's always a risk reward system where, especially if you're doing what it said earlier and running just one level, where you will absolutely force those events to happen until you get that 1 in 2,000 luck. You mentioned Pokemon earlier. Pokemon's actually a run where kind of the ideal setups depend on stats that are granted to your Pokemon before you ever get them. So people will reset runs for hours to get the absolute best possible, Squirtle or whatever it is to start a run off with.
Man, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that this game has been made consistent. One of the biggest issues in running the demo before was
Spread was
the
RNG?
fact that sorry?
Spread was RNG.
Spread was RNG, yeah, but now it's just a consistent pattern that you can
Yeah,
get,
the devs really fixed
if
this
you
up
tap.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Also,
lovely.
I want to talk about that last stage a little bit. It's a big castle. Also, similarly, this is also a big castle. This is Holy Ground, the calm before the storm. We're gonna need, like, 2 minutes of, like, relative silence from the two of you, but... What? How do I recover? Okay, well, that's fine. That's never happened to me before. I said the line. So...
Yeah, mark that off in your bingo cards.
Thank you.
If we have a little time before then,
Yes, we do. Well, one thing. Shout out to Machine Girl, who made the soundtrack for this game. This song is my favorite in the soundtrack, surprisingly, because it's like the calmest song in the game. But this stage's music is so good.
shout outs to Machine Girl.
Yes.
Lovable Man in the chat actually had a question that I think is aimed at Courtney. It was asking if they know about the gifts.
The gifts? No.
Oh, this is interesting. Real quick. So each stage has a hidden collectible gift, and those gifts you can give to characters. It's kind of like a visual novel, and those unlock side quests in the game, which were brought up earlier, which violets are the best in the game.
Yes.
Yes.
They are designed to trick you into killing yourself. It is fantastic.
It's awesome.
Wow,
Anyways,
that's so on brand.
this next stage is the hardest stage in the game, and so Fallen will be explaining it. Fallen, you haven't had a lot of time to talk, huh? Anyways.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, this is my time to shine. Let's go. Okay, so here in the temple we have the second green boss fight. This is without a doubt one of the most important skips to learn in the game. If you remember the clock tower where we were damaging green at only maybe 2 or 3 times, here we have to do it at every single opportunity we can when green's shields go down. And this is done through a variety of different means. A failed attempt to just use a fireball to burst straight into him, or we can just shoot him flat out when his shields go down. There's a small window when between like some small crystal phases. Here we're lining up pellets here we're lining up our shots with the crystal to take a shield down and kill him and shoot him with the pellets at the same time. We're gonna use a fireball burst to get in position just so that we can break the crystal and line up our pellets to get into green. There is a lot. I think here this is like a very, very small window. Here we're just firing off a bunch of rockets in the hope that one of them makes it. Some quick swapping shenanigans with rockets and fireballs in order to get our rockets and pellets to line up perfectly. There is a... that was close. Yeah, you got it. There is a lot involved in that. It is definitely one of the most important in the game.
There's a lot going on in this chapter. This is the fastest chapter in the game, so I'm going to talk very fast while explaining it. This is the Book of Life chapter, where we've unlocked the ultimate weapon we've been searching for this whole time. The Book of Life, also known as Boof among our community, because the little card on the bottom. So, this card allows us to telefrag. Telefragging is just teleporting to an enemy, instantly killing it. We can teleport up to 500 units in the game, which is very, very far. So, okay. But I'm actually resetting that because I don't want to do that.
Another strategy from classic shooters, intentional or otherwise. Also, the chat is absolutely popping off with boof.
Boo!
Ooh.
Yeah, this chapter is my favorite.
There were a couple of people earlier who were sharing fond anecdotes about being sent by Violet to Idiot Island.
Yes!
I hear.
Yes!
Idiot Island is awesome. I don't want to spoil it. Courtney, play the game, and then you'll see it. You'll 100% see it. I think the Steam achievement for getting it has like 50% completion, which is really high for a Steam achievement.
Wow.
That was weird. I'm going to try the IL strat on this because it's cool. Sad, I didn't get it. Anyways, here we're going to teleport to an explosive barrel again, and then fireball into the end. You'll notice we're not killing a lot of demons. This is because we don't actually have to kill all the demons in these stages. The only goal is get to the book at the end. There's story reasons for this. I'm not going to spoil them because Courtney hasn't played the game. But here, teleport to the tripwire, And then I don't feel like dying. I'm just not gonna not.
If it were me, I would simply not die. That's smart.
Yeah, you can teleport through tripwires as long as the thing you're teleporting to that's behind it is far enough away from, or is close enough to the tripwires to where it will, you'll never have a frame where you actually touch the tripwires. It's awesome.
Wow.
So you just move straight to a different interactable item instead? Something
Yes.
like that? Nice.
This is Congregation before you get the booth. The game likes to starve you. You have this big room full of demons, and you're very hungry for blood, but you can't eat, unfortunately. I really like the theming of the stage. I'm a big literature nerd. And so here we can actually just aim through this window into the room back again, teleport into the big blue guy, get a Godspeed through that window, and into the book. This is Sequence, the only stage with mimics and the Book of Life. If you teleport into a mimic, you die, and so we're going to avoid that by shooting it with an Elevate card. And this is Marathon. Marathon is intended to be the longest stage in the game. It's a bunch of trials of everything you've been tested on so far. But we don't feel like it. We can teleport to these tripwires because these big tripwires chains are supposed to open up a door at the end. You're supposed to destroy them as you do the trials. But if we're precise enough with our movement and aiming, we can skip all of it. That level is intended to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. The world record is 11 seconds.
Whoa.
Yep, it's
So
the biggest time save in the
they,
game.
You're saying they turn a marathon into a sprint?
Yes.
Yes.
And this is the final boss, Tonal Whiplash from the last chapter. There is actually a stage we missed in this game. We're good. There is a stage we skip in this category because it's very heavy story spoilers, and also the stage is really boring in a speedrun sense, so I'm happy we skip it, but it's also very huge story spoilers. But it's our final chance to take down Green, and this boss fight has 2 phases. These phases are between conga line phases, where Green has a big trail of crystals behind him, and it's our job to take care of them, if I can get into it. This is conga line phase. And then we have phases in Shale. Shale is where every one of the side quests take place. So it's kind of like our memories, our inner wants, desires, you know, so on and so forth. And we have to destroy all the crystals. There's no actual, like, damaging him in between phases. There's just phases. We're gonna jump across this center gap and hope I don't die. You'll notice I have one... No!
Oh my... Oh no.
That's happened to me in almost every marathon run I've done of this game. And I've done like 5. It's fine. This is fine. Anyways. Yeah, this stage is very punishing if you die, because it's a minute time loss. Anyways. Yeah, this
Did I hear you
tough.
say earlier in front of God and a VA for this game and everyone that there is a story-based level in this game that's just boring?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm not going to talk about why. Basically, it's the speedrun is a pretty tricky jump and then a minute of walking on water.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about like why that is beyond like that's just how it is. But it's very funny. We're gonna do that a bit slower. Hello? I did not mean to boost off that crystal. Anyways, we're good.
I'm a little late on this one because we've been so busy, but Blah
Yes.
donates $5 and says, "Boo!" And also, we love Violet.
Aw.
Ew.
We do. At first,
no,
I didn't like Violet, but as the story progressed, she really grew on me. She's one of my favorites. Anyways,
You said the whole script was recorded in like 2 days. Do you know if you recorded it roughly in order or just different scenes as they came up?
by the way, time is coming up.
Got it.
Once we kill Green here.
Courtney, back to you.
Yes.
What time?
So we recorded everything, I think, pretty much in order.
Gotcha. Okay, so you have a rough sense of your character's progression.
Yes, yeah. Like I know the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Just in those
Yeah.
scenes. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's 2 minutes behind my PB, which is sad because I wanted to PB this run. But I have a few things to say, if that's okay. I know we're barely over estimate, which my bad, but I
You're
also
good.
know
Just
we're
go for
ahead.
it. Yep,
So
go
a
for
few
it.
shout outs. First and foremost, this is going to be my last marathon run for a while. I do marathon runs all the time. I just really enjoy them. But I don't have the time. I just started college and a job, and so all of my time goes to. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Almost all of my
congrats.
time goes to those two things, and so practicing for marathons is just way too hard now. The only circumstance where that isn't going to be the case is if I somehow get this into AGDQ. I'll be practicing in the background, but I want to get this into AGDQ so bad. So I'm gonna shout out all the marathons that have had me on their schedule. First and foremost, obviously, to For the Love of Gaming, because you guys made this cool by bringing Courtney in. Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Aw, thanks for having me.
It was awesome. And so, first and foremost, FTLG. Next, fast-paced events. They had me on for my first marathon ever in a memorial event for one of the Sonic community members who passed away earlier this year. Rest in peace, the only kid. And it was very beautiful, and I'm very happy that they had me. That first marathon to feel so impactful was awesome. Next to the Sonic Adventure era speedrun events community. The first speed game I ever ran was Sonic Adventure 1. And we have an events channel over at Sacer Events, SAESR _ events. And they had me on for a marathon earlier this weekend, 2 days ago, for Neon White, and then earlier this year with Sonic Adventure. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are all my homies. We're very good friends with everyone there. Next up to Speed Stuff for Charity 9, I was on that with Neon White. Neon White's a lot of my marathon runs because it's very, very flashy. Also, no glitches allowed for having me on for that. And finally, to GDQ's Sonic and the Glitchless Gauntlet, which was a Sonic run with Knuckles. I like Knuckles. That's it. Particularly Amber Cyprin, they got me into those for both fast-paced events and Sonic and the Glitchless Gauntlet, which I appreciate.
Nice.
You.
Yeah.
You're sick.
Amber's a great person to know.
Yes, Amber's awesome. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to shout out the Neon White community, obviously, because I'm showcasing this game. I'm Supermod. Thank you guys for letting me remain in my position of power. My mod team is fantastic. I think our community is great. If you want to join, discord.gg/neonwhitespeedruns, all one word. You can find us there.
No, I think that is including and perhaps especially extended to you, Courtney.
Yes,
there are
course.
people clamoring in chat again to say. I saw several people say Violet speedruns when.
If you speedrun
oh
this
my
game,
God.
that'd be amazing.
I would literally, it'd be so embarrassing because I'd be so
Oh,
bad.
trust me. Dude, you make mistakes all the time in
the
speedrunning. That's how it is.
The casual to speedrun pipeline in this game is surprisingly
It's
easy.
very
to fall
easy.
Down.
Yeah, and just from what I'm seeing here and what I know of speedrun communities generally, they're not kidding when they say they are supportive. They just want you. If it's something that you would be interested in, whether playing it casually, in a capacity where you're streaming or getting into speedrunning, they'd love to see it. They'd love to give you tips and tricks, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Aw,
for
thanks
sure.
everyone. That's so sweet.
No pressure. Next up to Sonic Adventure, I mentioned them earlier. It was my first speedrun community, and they're all very, very close friends. I went to GDQ this year with them, and they made it an experience I'll never forget. So I love you guys. And next, I want to give a shout out to my boyfriend, Sinir. I wouldn't be here today without him. He means the world to me, and I love him very much. And
Hell yeah.
finally,
It's just supportive partners.
true. And then finally, of course, to Courtney for joining us. I hope this run was as fun to watch as it was to play. And I really appreciate you joining. This is an incredible opportunity. And hey, if I get into AGDQ, I'd love to invite you to be on my couch.
Yeah, man. Just you guys got my Corey's got my info.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. Courtney, anywhere else we can find you? Anything else you want to talk
yeah.
about? Anything else you can talk about? I know some projects end up being secret, so.
If you guys want to, if anyone wants to keep in touch, I'm pretty active on social media, across like Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. I'm just the Courtney Lynn, my name. And then I do just want to do a quick shout out to a show that I have coming out next month called Monster High.
Hey.
Really excited for that, and that airs sometime.
A hood classic, because I remember watching that show when I was a kid.
Amazing. Yeah, that's it. I hope I'll be able to connect with more of you.
You can find me at shovelclaws on literally everything. Also,
Okay,
Fallen
perfect.
has a very special thing they want to say.
Please
yes. I forgot to. I was gonna do a thing where I read out a bunch of characters for each chapter. I completely forgot to do that. But if you look in chat right now, you'll see 2 keys. One of them for Ben, for the developer of this game, Ben's other game, Donut County, and the other one for Sonic Adventure. The 2 question marks are Hewlett Packard, and the 2 ands are the TV channel that Scott the Woz airs on. Anyway.
Wow, deep cuts.
Yes, and what's it? I just need to give my shout outs to
Yes.
not only the Neon White speedrun community, but also the members that have bled over from the Spin Rhythm and Unbeatable Rhythm game communities, both of whom have been very competitive with me when it comes to Neon White speedrunning.
Nice. Yeah,
That's
that
all
said,
we
I think
have.
I speak for all of us when I say I look forward to Courtney either setting up their Twitch channel or someone hosting them. And maybe we start with some runs of Donut County first. Yeah, you may not have seen that one, but that's a very cute, very take it at your own pace sort of game. So it might be
Amazing.
something to get your
Yeah.
feet wet with.
Yes.
You would not believe that the guy who made Donut County would go on to make Neon White.
Yeah,
True.
I very much did a double take the first time I saw it.
They are 2 completely different games, but they're both very cool. I like Donut County.
Yeah.
Other than that, you are free to send us off. We've taken up enough time. I appreciate everyone watching, and I hope to see you again this AGDQ, possibly, please.
Hey, all the time that everyone here has taken has been valuable, has been raising money for To Right Love in Her Arms, and has been a whole lot of fun besides. So thank you very much to shovelclaws, to I'm Fallen Free, and of course to Courtney Lynn.
Yep. Thank you,
So
guys.
coming up
Thank you
next-
for having us.
Absolutely. Coming up next, we have something with about as many guns, but a very different style of game. We have Reservoir Dogs with Viper Races. So hang with us, and when you come back, we will be joined by the lovely Tumpano on hosting. So look forward to it.
Ooh.
When sadness curls itself at the foot of your bed.
When grief finds home in the basement of your chest.
When your heart's garden swears it cannot grow here.
When the day feels too heavy, when the balcony is a thieving distraction.
When the drawers in the kitchen siren to you.
When the night is as heavy as an anchor and you cling to your own shore, remember, you are the ocean.
A single drop in a child's hand
That can hold up a ship when you make a mistake.
When you misstep or misspeak.
When you find yourself underneath the stains of your human.
Because you are human.
When the heavy of it all calls to you like a wailing animal. Remember,
There is nothing wrong with you.
There is everything significant about you.
From your shoulders to your shins.
From the galaxies in your irises
to the orchestra in your throat.
When the friends seem so few.
When the phone doesn't ring.
When it does, but you are too afraid to answer.
Too afraid you are too quiet or take up too much space. Remember, your name does not begin
or end
in silence.
Your story is not over. There are still chapters in this book.
There is still time to fall in love.
To fall out.
To shatter and mend.
To forgive and be forgiven.
Keep reading. Crown your failures.
Scream, I am worthy, until the stars collapse upon your brilliance.
No, if depression is the verse,
then hope is the chorus. Allow yourself to exist in this melody.
Even if the instrument of your body is tired of playing.
Self-love is not selfish. It is the mantra of someone who recognizes where they have been and where they need to go.
Find your love in the lake.
See how it ripples, how it continues. It is the earth's way of saying you are important. You are endless. Be good to you.
Tell yourself, I deserve the keep.
I deserve to love and be loved. I deserve the whole show, the encore,
the darkness that falls like a curtain, and the morning that will always follow.
We will be the voice that sings behind you.
The receiving end of a phone call.
No, you are not alone.
No, you are not broken.
We will run forward to greet you, and together we will dance like wildfire because there is reason to celebrate. We will finally be.
I will see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hello everyone, Teacher here welcoming you back to For the Love of Gaming's third online extravaganza for a very special announcement and a very special thank you to the official To Write Love in Her Arms Twitch account, which has joined us here in the Twitch chat at twitch.tv/FTLGmarathon. Want to thank you so much for giving this opportunity and being part of the reason we're putting on this event, for all the work that you do. If you don't know, To Write Love in Her Arms is a nonprofit movement dedicated to presenting hope, finding help, and offering opportunities and resources for people struggling with depression, addiction, and thoughts about self-injury and suicide. To Write Love in Her Arm exists to encourage, inform, inspire, and invest directly into treatment and recovery through a variety of means. I know they also do co-work through a lot of other great organizations like crisis call and text lines, both in the United States and abroad. They believe that people were created to love and be loved, that people need other people, that your story is important, that better days are ahead, and that hope and help are real. Just yesterday, September 10th, was actually National Suicide Awareness Day. And throughout all of September, To Write Love in Her Arms is running a campaign and an awareness campaign called You Are Not a Burden, reminding people, no matter where you are in life, what things are like for you, especially in light of how the last few years have been for many people. As someone with many family members who are immunocompromised, I understand that it has been quite lonely for them at times. It's not necessarily safe to go out and about in the way that it may be for many of us, but to have those kinds of conversations, to share those thoughts, to know that there are always people willing to listen, and at the end of the day, to know that you and the feelings you have are not a burden to those around you. And that's the kind of message that To Write Love in Her Arms wants to share with people, to share that hope, to have those difficult but meaningful conversations. If you'd like to know more, you can go to twloha.com to see that campaign and other information about it. They are also generously offering rewards for donations at certain amounts, and also let you know information about what those kinds of gifts can do. So every $50 that we raise for To Write Love in Her Arms helps someone sit with a counselor for the first time. Every $100 supports 340 people in their search for help, giving them opportunities to find free and reduced cost mental health services. And every $250 we raise provides a month of counseling through treatment and recovery scholarship programs. With that, I think we are just about ready for the next run. So there might be a very brief pause, and then we'll be back with Reservoir Dogs by Viper UK.